Okay, so today we will start with the classification of disasters. Okay, so don't have to write now. Whatever you need to write, I will let you know because I am already recording. I will share it in the stream, or it would be found. The stream link will be found in this chat box itself. Okay, so today we will do a classification of disaster. Now, why to classify disaster? Like when there is a danger and a disaster has happened, you can just solve the problem that has happened. So why do you not need to dig back and find out that whether it was natural, whether it was man-made, or whether it was something else, whether it was a climate phenomena or not? So to know that, I would like to start with that certain the classifications have been done in different ways. Like the total domain of the disasters, the different types of disasters, they have been classified under different domain. It is not like a classification was done, the headings were decided and then the disasters were assigned. It was the reverse. Grouping of all the disasters were done, and each of them, depending on certain commonalities, were given a heading. So many of you have been into, I guess, CBSE boards. I'm sure. Is there anyone who is from CBSE boards? Vivek is here, I guess,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
and Debash is also. So
Sir,
in your
I'm also from CBSE.
okay, great. So
I'm from
in if
CBSE.
fine. So those who are not, this is to inform them that hopefully people in the CBSE board, there was a classification done long back, and you might have studied in your school in subjects like social studies or climate studies, any subjects which you had where this disasters was classified. Because in 2006 onwards, uh, the central government, they thought of doing a capacity building by incorporating this classifications or the type of disasters or its impact in the school syllabus, so that as people grow up, they are a bit more concerned, and then in that way it helps in capacity building. That means you are well aware of what is going to happen, and after it happens, how you can prevent, how you can get back to your original form. So they have a different classification, and that is very trivial classification. Like you can understand, school students are knowing those, so it has to be too much non-technical classification. So in that way, they had 6 different classifications. So no, please note this 6 headings of classification under classification of disasters. Okay. The first one is hydro and climatic. Hydro, that means related to water, and climatic. The next one is accident related. Accident related. The third one is biological. The fourth one is chemical and nuclear. Chemical and nuclear. The fifth one is environmental. And the sixth one is geological. Geological. Okay. So this was the first time that all the disasters that were found were put under certain baskets, and I have given you the headings of those baskets. So let's find out that what are the prominent disasters which you can put in this kind of baskets. There can be a lot of overlap. Like one disaster, depending on its nature, can fall into multiple baskets. Hence, we didn't classify it according to the heading, but we are classifying we are not classifying like exhaustively, but there may be a lot of overlap, but we have tried to put some heading. And after explaining this, I will come to why this heading has come up. So first is hydro and climatic. So prominent examples can be heat wave and cold waves in desert or cold deserts, like snow avalanches, tornado, flood, drought, cyclone. Okay, so at least note few of them so that you can relate it back. Cyclone, tornado, flood, drought, landslide. Okay. The next is accident related. Now, everything can be an accident. It can be a natural accident. It can be a man-made accident. So overall, accidents are like, say was a mine or an underground mine, and suddenly because of something there was a landslide and people got trapped inside, or it is a open cast mine and there was a torrential rain and it is all waterlogged. There is no drainage. If it drains the water, some of the villages will get flooded. So then forest fire, you know, forest naturally doesn't catches fire because green leaves never catches fire. So there has to be some phenomena which triggers the fire, and then dry leaves and wood, which are highly combustible, along with maybe some natural gases present or the oxygen present, high level of oxygens are present in the vicinity of forest and all, which helps in the propagation of the fire. So these are some accident related. Okay. If I remember that once I heard that in the Himalayan belt of Uttarakhand, there was a place along the hillside where, since there was no car repairing shop allowed within the city, so it was done just in the outskirts of the city in some green valleys and all, and they used to always clean it, and the mobiles, inflammable mobiles and oil used to get into the land, into the slope. So from a picnic, by mistake, it caught fire. Unfortunately, 4 people lost their life. It was long back. If I recall, it was in say 2008 or 9, almost 10, 12 years back. So who knows when accident can come? Hence, it is accident. It doesn't seize the constellation's location of the star. It arrives at any point of time. It can also be, yesterday we have seen stampede. So festival related accident can also happen. Commutation related or transport related accident can also happen. Okay. So the next is biological. Okay. Biological, very common is food poisoning. Lots of movie have been made, or say what we can say. Uh, there is a news that this coronavirus and the new virus which was discovered, which was found day before yesterday in China, that these were exposed from certain biochemical or biomedical laboratories. So they are a weapon of mass murder, mass destruction, as it is leading to. Or say epidemic, cholera, malaria, dengue, which or swine flu, which spreads like anything generating out of any biological sources. The fourth one is a nuclear and a chemical. So chemical industry explosion we have seen in Visakhapatnam, nuclear explosion we have long back seen in Japan and all. Okay, it can be the industrial oil spills happening in Assam, which is catching fire. So the source, depending on the source from where this disaster is generating, we have tried to do this classification. Say environmental disaster are like the pollutions, deforestation. Uh, I think in between this year summer only there was a news of locusts flying from the northwestern border of India towards the central India. So they bring in with them lot of different kinds of infections. Okay. So that is an environmental hazard. And the last one is geological. Geological means due to some geological activities or earth and its tectonic related activities, like again underground mine fire, or say a water reservoir or a dam has burst, a volcano, a tsunami, earthquakes. These are all geological, because you can only blame the geology or the tectonics of the earth behind the source of these hazards. Okay. So have you all noted some of the examples of these 6 classifications?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But here the problem is, once a disaster has happened, we have to dig and find out the source, and then only we can put into these headings or the classification, and then start the preventive measures. Okay, preventive means coping up with the effect, or to regain back, or to get rehabilitated to the formal condition. So that is the problem. So and there is a fight that there are a lot of overlap. Say if there is an earthquake, who can say whether the earthquake is triggered by blasting in the mine, or it has generated under the ground or under the ocean due to some tectonics or not? Okay, or there might be a this breeze and land breeze and this ocean currents which is triggering this tectonic movement or not. So later what was done is all this we will have an exhaustive list of all the disasters, because you need to know that whether and at what point of time those hazards can be called as disaster. But to minimize these subheadings and to take necessary actions, to not spend more time in digging the the heading that which kind of broad category it is and which organization should be held liable. Say, I'm very sorry to say that there were a couple of suicide cases in Bollywood, and still now people are trying to dig behind what was the actual reason, whom to blame, and all, rather than actually uh, taking out the people, those who are alive, how to take them out of the traumas and all, and how to rehabilitate them. That is not being done. So, what environmentalists and other scientists have done is, okay, we will do a two-stage classification of this. So, disasters. So in one step, we will broadly categorize, and under each category, we will do a subcategory and then try to place the disaster names. So another way of classifying disaster. Okay, please note that another way of classifying disaster, there are three different kinds. So it will be a hierarchical flowchart. In disasters, they are of three types, and each one is of multiple mode types. So please note, disasters are either natural or man-made or environmental. It's natural, man-made, and environmental. So this is a broad category. Everything can be classified under this. This means that once you find that has been a disaster and it is a kind of say hydrological or meteorological disaster, immediately you put it under natural, and you don't have to bother about whether they are man-made or whether it was triggered by the environmental cases or man-made cases, or sorry, or anthropogenic cases. You directly call it as a natural reason of disaster, so it is a natural disaster. So immediately involve those people. Say if it is a meteorological, involve the meteorology department. If it is a hydrological, involve the hydrology department, and accordingly you link up the national disaster relief teams with those departments and make them work. So this makes it faster. So what are the different kinds of natural disaster? The categories of natural disasters. Natural disasters can be, just note the four different kinds of natural disasters are geological, 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 meteorological, Meteorological, meteorological. Next is hydrological, and the last is medical. Okay. First note the different other kinds. So there are four types of man-made disasters are social, technological, chemical. The third one is chemical, and fourth one is transport related. Okay. And the third category is environmental. So anything other than all these 8 categories, we put it as environmental, mostly environmental. Okay. So have you noted? Just click on raise your hand if you have noted. Or else do I have to repeat? Okay. Thank you.
Sir,
Yes, please.
one doubt. Sir, water included under medical?
Medical. Any epidemics?
Okay,
So
sir.
dengue is a notable epidemic, or Ebola was there. Okay. These are all
Yes, sir. Yes.
natural but medical. Like where human didn't have to intervene. It was naturally started and naturally spreaded. So that hazard has converted into a disaster naturally.
Okay.
Okay. say malaria has spread, and you know that there is a particular kind of mosquito which triggers this malaria. But the issue is, it doesn't always require to have stagnant water for the mosquito to breed. You are not, the human being is not always liable. It may be that it has developed in a swamp which people never knew, and then mosquitoes can fly for kilometers. So it has developed into the city. It originated naturally somewhere, and it spread it into the cities or the villages where it is creating this havoc. Okay. So we will discuss now. We will discuss this different way of categorizing disasters. Okay. This is the most prominent one. Now it is very simple thing. For example, say I say that you are not studying in a residential institute. You have, every one of you have to commute from your home to the institute every day. So which kind of mode do you avail? Which kind of transport mode do you avail? And the classification of the transport mode. So somebody will come and say, sir, I have a bus. Somebody will say, I have a tram, a train, a auto, a bicycle, a bike, a pool car, a rickshaw, or simply I walk. Okay. So now it is very difficult for me to do an analysis that which proportion of the population uses which mode. So for better understanding, what we do is we do a broad classification, like a nested or a stepped classification, hierarchical classification. There are a lot of names. They are all synonymous. First, we decide whether it is a motorized mode or a non-motorized mode. And then under motorized mode, we have certain examples. Under non-motorized mode, we have the rest of the examples. So here again, let's discuss the natural disaster briefly, because next Thursday we will have detailed explanation of the natural disasters, how they happen, what are the measures, how to identify it as a natural disasters and all. But for the timing, just take some examples of geological natural disasters. So it lies within the geology of the planet, not necessarily always Earth, it can be any planet, but Earth is, say, earthquake. Earthquake is a geological disaster, volcanic eruption, landslides, avalanches, where the origin is a geological disaster. The origin or anything generating out of this kind of geological origins will lead to a geological disaster. Now, see, I don't have to again explain what scale of disaster it is. At any point of time, it follows the basic definition of disaster. Okay, just a snowball has slided along a snowy patch, say in Switzerland. That may be a disaster, that may not be a disaster, depending on how much havoc or what is the degree of hazard it has generated. Whether it has generated loss of life or property or wealth or well-being or environment, depending on that, we will classify it as a disaster. The next is a meteorological. Okay. So have any one of you heard that there has been parts of certain planets which will be moving very close to the Earth's atmosphere in some weeks and all? So what kind of disaster it is? Meteorological, or any disaster for which this meteorology or this rock, planet location, like superficial climatic condition of the Earth is responsible. Say a drought, not a famine though, but a drought, or excessive rain, a heat wave. Okay. Has anyone been to Jaisalmer? This group? No one. So day before yesterday in Jaisalmer, there was a snowstorm, and yesterday it went viral. So for 300 kilometers together, a snowstorm, which probably you have seen in a lot of movies, say in Scorpion King and all. So that has actually happened.
So it's a
In
sandstorm or snowstorm?
yes, please. I didn't get you.
Is it sandstorm or snowstorm?
Sandstorm in Jaisalmer. Snowstorm is not possible in Jaisalmer.
Sorry, you mentioned snowstorm.
No, snowstorm I mentioned it as in Switzerland, as a small snowball rolling maybe in the Alps and all. But sandstorm, sorry, sandstorm and dust storm combined together, which people have never seen in the past 80 years, that has prevailed. So that is a meteorological condition, because the earth, the tectonic of the earth or the geology of the earth cannot be held responsible for this. Okay. Uh, so, so the examples can be any climatic condition which causes heavy rain, drought, heat wave, cold wave, and similar other things. The next one is hydrological. So where it is not only the climatic condition but water added with that. Say cyclone, cloudburst, acid rain, tsunamis. So tsunami is actually earthquake triggered uh, flood, sea flood or sea waves. So there has been an earthquake, and slowly the epicenter has been below the sea. Slowly it has surfaced out, and the magnitude has increased, so it generates wave, and these waves are very difficult to tackle by the coastal shading devices or the, what are those called? The bowlers, the quadrangular bowlers that are kept in Mumbai to avoid the rocks, the waves lashing along the coast. We have studied it. At least some of you have studied. You all know, you have seen these rocks, right? In either movie or you have been to Mumbai, you have seen this quadrangular rocks or concrete blocks.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But we don't know the name.
Post.
So check in the chat box and tell me, don't you know the name? Yeah, Padmesh. We discussed it in Mahabalipuram. And you are from Tamil Nadu. You should be knowing that how the coasts are protected. Anyways, coming back to the discussion of hydrological, so we have faced tsunami, we have faced cyclones. I don't know about cloudburst because cloudburst generally is faced by people in Meghalaya and Nagaland. Uh, Last is the medical. We are going through a medical disasters. Okay. So now this has become more or less, these natural disasters under these four categories have become more or less broad categories and easy to fit in, easy to fit any of the available disasters into these categories. So next coming up to uh, say man-made disasters. Okay. Man-made disasters are social disasters like group clashes, terror strike, arson, vandalism. Okay, those are the social disasters. Next is the technological disaster. They are like technological disaster means industrial accidents or collapse of a structure. Okay, now see, collapse of a structure might happen because of an earthquake. So damage out of earthquake is a natural disaster because the earthquake has happened naturally. But a building which has fallen and that building is trapping human beings inside or any cattle and other economically important things inside, which is trapped inside, is a is because of the structure which has collapsed, which could not survive, which was not resilient enough. So that disaster, because now what will people say? I was trapped under the building, but they will not say that I was trapped in between the earthquake. So now you can understand that what is the utility of having two segregated classification. That means the building was designed by human being, though the earthquake has happened naturally, but because of the design of the building, the structure collapsed and you are trapped. It doesn't even need a proper earthquake also. It only requires a bad design or a non-seismic resistant architecture to generate a technological disaster. Okay. The next one is chemical disaster. So leakage of toxic gas. For example, say your house is in the windward side of a solid waste dumping ground. Okay, and there has been constant leakage of which gas? Can speak up. Solid waste dumping ground generates which kind of gas? A very harmful gas.
Methane.
Yes, methane.
Methane.
And in presence of oxygen, it further triggers fire. So you will see that in certain pockets of solid waste dumping ground, after the sunset, there are hot gas, as we see in front of above a boiling oil or boiling water, same thing happens. Or sometimes there is a flame, a purplish yellow flame, that is the methane gas. It also happens under the mine. Under the mine, underground mine, there are sources of methane gas. So long back we used to have this kind of lantern. Today we are have modern technologies, but long back we used to have this lantern. If the flame of the lantern starts changing, we used to immediately send an alert for people to evacuate, because the level of methane in that chamber has been increasing. Okay. Next is radiation hazard under the chemical disaster only. Okay. Nuclear radiation or atomic radiation and all, any kind of radiation. It can even be greenhouse radiation. So you are working in a greenhouse in the Arctic, on the Antarctic area, and because of this short wave entering and being in a long wave radiation, you have excess of vitamin D which your body could not take. So excess vitamin is also not very good for you. So you'll have a lot of other problems along with that. So that has happened because of radiation, constant exposure. Your skin will burn. Okay. Next is transport related. The fourth one is transport related. So these are basically accident which happens in any transport mode. It can be you had a bicycle accident too, there is a train accident or a ship accident or a airlines accident, anything. Anything where the source is transport, because transport cannot move by its own, it has to be controlled by human beings. So these kind of disasters are man-made disaster. Okay. And environmental disasters, the last one, they are basically mostly the ecological disaster. Say there was a marshy land which used to save from the cyclones and all, but because of something, because of, it can be natural, it can be man-made, or it can be because of a particular phenomena, that whole marsh has disappeared over the time. So the marsh in the west of Mumbai, in Borivali and those areas, are slowly going under the sea. So it is neither man-made nor it is natural, but it is because of environmental reasons. Like in environmental disaster, there might be a combination of man-made activities as well as natural activities. So because of the because of say some natural activities, the waves are rising. Along with that, because of some human activities, the sea level is also rising. Okay, ice in the polar ices are melting, so the sea level is rising. So it can be a combination of both, but since you cannot specifically find the source, we put it under environmental disasters. Okay. So another example which I can remember is, suppose there has been a volcanic eruption, which is a natural disaster, but that led to charring or burning of forests and the floras and faunas in the hill. So now that disaster, this burning, has happened because of the volcanic eruption. The volcano, if it is directly destroying something or damaging something, say the Pompeii was damaged directly by the volcano. So it is a natural disaster, but it has happened. You are able to identify an environmental condition which has caused the loss of life. Because in Ireland and many places under the sea, there are a lot of active volcanoes. No, there is not no loss of life, but because we have started living beside an active volcano, so there is a chance of combination of man-made causes as well as natural causes. So we blame it to environmental disasters. Okay. Best possible example that I can say right now is a global warming, which is an environmental disaster. Okay. So it can be controlled. That's why I have segregated differently that, see, man-made disasters can be controlled by stopping the source because it is created by man. The natural disaster cannot be controlled at all, but its effect can be like reduced. And environmental disasters are those where you require proper planning to mitigate it. So our topic says it is disaster management and mitigation. So it is how to manage it, how to go with it, as well as how to recoil back to its original condition. So that is environmental, man-made and natural disaster. Okay. So man-made disaster is also known as a anthropogenic disaster. Man-made disasters are sometimes known as anthropogenic disaster. Not, please don't write anthropometric. It is anthropogenic. ANTHROPOGENIC. Okay. So what I will do is I will let you know a list of natural disasters. You just find out that whether you have noted those under this geological or meteorological or hydrological or medical or not, or the other man-made disasters. If you have not, just note those down, like the inventory of the disasters. Okay. So under geological, we have earthquakes, volcano, landslide, avalanches. Earthquake, volcano, landslide, avalanches. Avalanches can have snow, may not also have snow. It is depending on the loose rock structure of the hill. Next is meteorological. Examples are cyclones, blizzards, 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 cloud bursts, heavy snow, not snowfall for sure. Snowfall is not a disaster at all, but heavy snow, heavy rainfall, droughts, 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 heat wave, hailstorm, wildfire. Okay. Wildfire is a natural one, but a forest fire is not always a natural one. It can be a man-made one. So these are the meteorological. Next is hydrological. We have floods or flash floods, tsunami, okay. We have hurricanes. They are different form of combination of a tsunami and cyclone. Okay. There are many other types, and from time to time we get to know different names happening in the Atlantic, around the Atlantic coasts and all. So all are certain different degrees of combination of cyclones, that means wind, and flood, that means water. The last is medical. So epidemics, we have discussed epidemics, and say some cases of extinction. Say there are certain species, certain birds and certain animals which are almost extinct, or which has the complete species has lost its existence in on Earth. Okay. So for example, say we have heard of dinosaur, we have heard of dodos. They are now extinct because they could not survive. They were not fit for survival. So these are all certain medical reasons only, because you don't have any particular reason whether it was triggered by human being or any other non-human natural causes. So we put it all under medical condition. So because they were not immune to survive in the geological condition. Okay. So I will move on to the anthropogenic examples of anthropogenics. So in the sociological or social, we have arson or looting, ARSON, arson, or looting, LWTING, looting. It sounds as if like pre-independence era, where the freedom fighters used to loot the police station for guns and gunpowders. Okay. Next is the strikes or group clashes. Strikes or group clashes. Next is stampede, STAMPEDE, stampede. Bomb blasts. By bomb blast, I don't mean Diwali ke patake, because it doesn't creates loss of life or wealth, but something which cause problems for the life and livelihood. Next is terror strikes, any form of terror strikes. And ultimately the war, WAR, war. These are sociological disasters. Next is technological, which includes industrial accidents, collapse of structure. These two are probably written. Next is power outage. So excessive power or electricity, or no power for long time, say blackout of a whole industrial city is detrimental. It will cause loss of life also. Indirectly it will cause loss of life. Okay, so power outages, fires. These are technological disasters. Next is chemical disaster. Chemical disasters are gas leaks, blasts, 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 oil spills, acid rain, radiation or nuclear reactions. The last one is transport related, which is road transport or road accident, rail accident, aircraft accident.
Sir,
Yes, please. Yes, Pragya. I can't hear you.
we can divide acid rain into environmental disaster.
Uh, yes, it is. What I said is it is an environmental disaster because you are not sure about the actual origin. But if you know that acid rain is only happening in the industrial town, okay. I will give you an example of say Agra. Agra, a decade back, used to have frequent acid rain, which led to discoloration of the Taj Mahal, and it was found that it was happening because uh, pollutants from the nearby tanneries and the refineries were directly thrown into the water, as well as the fumes were thrown up. So they only came down because sulfide is are heavy metals, so they only came down in form of acid rain. So once you know that there is a man-made source, it is an the acid rain becomes a man-made disaster. But if you don't know suddenly that you don't know how it has happened, and probably the source is somewhere else and you are facing the rain somewhere else, okay, then it is a natural man-made it is an environmental disaster. Sorry, it's an environmental disaster. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The last type is transport related. So any accidents that happens on roadway, railway, aircrafts, spaceship, or even ship. Okay. So in India, every day 25,000 people loses their life in this kind of transport related, traffic related accidents. Okay. So, anyways, so this classification has been done by NPDM. N for national, P for policy. Then the whole term is National Policy Framework for Disaster Management. So National Policy Framework for Disaster Management, NPDM. There is no acronym for framework or for. Okay. They particularly classify this CBRN, which is chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear disasters. So they have done this classification. Now with this classification, it is very easy, or it is, I will not say very easy, it is easier to streamline the effect, and easily we can match and find out what are the upcoming effect these disasters are going to have. Accordingly, either you can plan beforehand or you can solve it. You can solve it after it has already happened. So let's come down to environmental disasters. I will not, there are no examples because it is a combination of, it can be any degree in at any ratio, the combination of man-made or natural, but the phenomena is an environmental phenomena that has to be there. Okay, environmental disasters. So, uh, let me give an example and discuss that. For example, a dam has to be built. So when a dam is built, lots of village has to be drowned, forests has to be drowned, irrigation field has to be drowned. Now, will you call it a man-made disaster? No, constructing a dam. Because if you call it a man-made disaster, the problem is immediately people will not be leaving their property and moving out, but there is a greater cause for which they have to be shifted. They will be given free of cost land and house make how no, like built houses and all, employment in a different safer place. So this kind of activities which leads to any disaster, like forcefully creating a dam so that it doesn't floods the low-lying irrigation or fertile land. So these are all environment. This is a kind of environmental disaster. If I can find some other examples, like yeah, global warming has also leading to rise in the temperature, in the ambient temperature over years, has also been attributed as an environmental disaster. Any natural disaster which causes problem for human being to live, which either way could not have been avoided, except those which could have easily been avoided, are all categorized as environmental disaster. So the major factors behind this man-made kind of environmental disaster, like where there is a source where human could have intervened into this environmental disaster and stopped it or reduced its effects, are exploding human population. This means that the increase in population is leading to the expanse of habitats. Cities are developing, villages are developing, villages are getting converted to towns and then cities and mega cities and all. So that in some way is creating a disaster, which today if we are not able to see, after 10 years it will turn out to be a disaster. Hence today, every day we are having more than 50,000 counts, where 80% of the counts of this corona are coming from this highly populated area, because density of population attributes to the spread of this epidemic. Deforestation to find new habitat. So that is one more reason for this environmental disaster. So it will not only trigger loss of human being or loss of floras and faunas, but it will change the ambient climate, the climate of this locality. There will be prevailing a microclimate. So within a hot and humid or a hot and dry area, you will have a different microclimate. It would be very difficult for us to adjust to that, because when you all joined this department back in 2018 or 2019, sorry, 2016 or 2017, Rourkela used to be a hot and dry climate. But in your previous year, when you were doing classes in here till in February and early March, it was very hot and humid. So what happened is the coolers were not properly working. It was making more humid, and that has happened because we have cut down trees and we have boosted the industries. Okay, so the man-made, so it is now a man-made reason for an environmental disaster. Burning of fossil fuel is another factor which contributes to environmental disaster. Burning of fossil fuels, say petroleum products or coal, that leads to greenhouse gases, and ultimately it is an environmental disaster. And day-to-day activities leading to any kind of pollution, sound pollution, air pollution, water pollution, anything. Say I have heard that in Haryana and in Punjab, they grow crops and after they take away the grains, they burn it. Just like jhum cultivations, where you burn the residue to add to, as a manure again, so that in the next season again crops come up. But what happens because of that is the whole Delhi get polluted, because Delhi lies in the windward side. Okay. Okay. So, and this environmental disaster may not be visible in your own house. Effect of this environmental disaster may not be visible in your own house, but it is clearly visible because the ice caps are disappearing, the ice caps are disappearing, sea levels are increasing, the human activities across the sea, the fishing and all are getting motorized and all, but less people are now going to the sea, because the sea water is not, the sea waves and sea water are not conducive enough for fishing. Change in the pattern of rainfall that we are all observing, but we are as if enjoying. We are not even being triggered that it is going to be an environmental disaster soon. That when you cannot expect when it is going to rain, how that is going to create a problem? Can anyone say that irregular rainfall or change in the pattern of rainfall, how does it affect? Why I am calling it a disaster?
Sir, due to irregularity of rainfall, it might lead to loss in crop production, which might affect a large population.
Yes, loss in crop production means certain like rain-borne crops, say paddy and wheat and sugarcane, where you need the
Yes, sir.
rainwater and all,
Yes,
as
sir.
well
Like,
as it can create problem for the vegetables also. Like vegetables cannot be preserved under rain. Prematurely they have to be plucked in. Fine. And what else? Can you say? Day before, yesterday only we talked about something, a municipal level problem. Say after we have economic budgets, so before every monsoon during the summer we deploy people for cleaning of the drains, the sewage lines and all. So if rainfall starts early, then we cannot clear it up, so there will be water logging in the city. Or if rainfall is delayed, what will happen? During the monsoon we got everything cleaned, and then during the monsoon, or since the monsoon was delayed, like it will become a dry pit. So slowly, whatever water was flowing through those will have lot of sedimentation and it will dry up. So dried sedimentation will will make the sewage line shallower. Okay, maybe we are planning for some vaccination for a disease which happens in the monsoon. So the vaccines will expire over the time. Okay, in this varied way, we have to start thinking now. Now we are into the depth of this subject. We have to start thinking in a breath, broadly. Okay. That will also lead to something else. If the monsoon is early or a monsoon is late, we have migratory birds and animals and for like herds of animals migrate from one place to the other with the monsoon. Now what will happen to them? They will come to a monsoon belt and they will see that there is no water, so they will attack the village, human beings, habitats and all. So not only crops, okay, that's good for starting because that is prominent, that is eminent, obviously. But there are also something which, as I say, you don't observe it at your backyard, but you have to have a wider open eye to observe all these things. And that those were the reasons for this extinction of biodiversities, of lots of animals and all. Anyways, I will probably pause today. Our next class is on Tuesday. Okay. On Tuesday, I will continue with this environmental disasters. And let's see, on Saturday, Sunday, we have shutdowns. And already in NIT Rourkela campus, there are 9 corona positive person, but all are confined to 2 families only. Okay. So let me stop the recording.